Wilbur here. Today we're going to review the TGV Lion-Shark Squale Professional Diver Watch. We're going to see if it's the bee's knees, the mutt's nuts, and the wonderful bits of half a dozen other creatures. Stay tuned. I've had this new TGV Lion-Shark Atmos 50 professional diver for about 3 weeks now. There you go. If you're watching this, you probably want to know if it's awesome or does it suck. I'd say it's mostly awesome with a little suck. First off, the Urban Gentry channel is one of my favorites on YouTube. TGV, or Tristano, who goes by TGV, does some really great quality videos and covers all different kinds of watches. You need to watch at your own risk, though. This is fair warning. His excitement for watches is catching, and you will probably end up spending more money than you should on watches if you watch his channel. This model Squale is a limited run that TGV had cosmetic input on, and it bears his lion sigil, or family crest, or whatever that thing is. So this is my first Squale. A lot of folks seemed impressed with them, so I decided I'd go ahead and take the risk and get one when this one came out. I really do like the looks of this. It reminds me of the Tudor Black Bay that I've been lusting after for quite a while now. The blue-gray sunburst dial looks good with the green of the Lume and the unusual orange minute hand. It all just works for me. The size of this is perfect for me. It's a 42 millimeters in diameter, and more importantly, they kept the lug-to-lug width to 48 millimeters. Very, very comfortable on my 7.5-inch wrist. At 13 millimeters, it isn't crazy tall. It's probably the most perfect sized watch that I have in my collection. And it stayed on my wrist pretty much every moment except for bath time and sleep time. I am a huge fan of the band that comes on this watch. It's got thick Italian leather that was stiff for the first day or two, but it broke right in, and it's just been comfortable as can be. It's absolutely perfect as a desk diver watch, which is the only diving I'm probably going to do anymore. If you were going to use it as a real diver watch, which you totally could at 500 atmospheres water resistance, but you'd want to put it on a mesh or nylon, or if you can stand them, rubber. I can't stand them. I wouldn't do rubber. Squale means shark in French. But when I asked a friend of mine who was born and raised in France how to pronounce squale, he was like, "That's not a French word." I told him, I was like, "I think it must be." And we looked it up, and it turns out that squale is it's like Old French and hasn't been used in the common vernacular since the 1700s, really. The normal word for shark that the French people use today is something like requin or something, and I apologize deeply to anybody who is French or even knows a French person who has had a French kiss. As I said, I love the color of the bezel. It has a coin edge, which is okay, but sadly it's only 60 clicks rather than the 120 you would expect of a watch at this price. That means the time resolution is 30 seconds. I have a far cheaper watches with 120 click bezels, and with today's manufacturing methods, the cost differences must be very small. This is disappointing, and it just seems like some unnecessary cost cutting measure by Squale. The movement is the tried and true ETA 2824-2, which is a real workhorse. The movement comes in 4 grades: standard, elaborated, top, and finally chronometer. There's a reference link below on ETA movements. Squale doesn't say which grade actually lives in their Atmos 50 divers. Top grade would be good bang for the buck. Elaborated and standard would, of course, be less so. Since I've had this one, it gains about 10 seconds a day, so I'm not too sure I would buy top grade. I suspect it's probably elaborated, but I don't know on that case, and I couldn't find any information online that really said for sure. As I said, this movement is a total workhorse, and it should last you a lifetime, and it shouldn't cost you a limb to get it serviced. The screw down back is nothing special. I'm a freak for cool backs that have lots of deep engraving in them, but this one won't make me geek out at all. But it's pleasant. The only real fly in the soup is the crown. This crown is by far the worst I've ever seen. It is quite literally painful for me to unscrew this thing. Maybe if you have tiny, young, little rubber fingers, this won't be a problem for you, but for my dried out old fingers, this actually hurts. The only thing that makes it forgivable is that it's impossible to damage this crown short of nuclear war. The case design is excellent, as you would expect, very comfortable, as I said. There are a few ripples in the mirror surface that underline that it wasn't made with the kind of care that you would expect to see on a Rolex. But then again, it's 1/5 the price. I feel a little bit of matte finish on some surfaces might make it look a little bit more lush and expensive. The Superluminova Lume is very good, up to the quality of my Omega Seamaster. Here are some not real great pictures taken at 0 minutes, 5 minutes, and 19 minutes to give you an idea of the relative Lume performance. So left to right are the Invicta Automatic Professional Diver, the Dan Henry 1970, the Omega Seamaster mid-sized, the Squale Atmos 50, and a Citizen Echo Drive alarm chronograph, and the Glycine Airman Sapphire 18. Surprisingly, the Citizen has the best performance. So this is a good solid watch. It has a decent movement in it and good Lume performance. It wears very comfortably and is extremely readable. I do find myself missing the date indicator on there. They removed that for the looks of the thing, and I gotta admit I've been spoiled with the date. The band totally rocks, big fan of that, and the wrist presence is very good. Although the crown annoys me, it's not bad enough to damage the overall enjoyment of the watch for me. This will continue to get plenty of wrist time. Who knows if being a limited edition is going to help or do anything to the value in the future, but it's a nice watch, and it's probably worth the $900 price tag.